Guys, welcome back to the channel. Gotta do this the old school way because for whatever reason Google Play Games on my PC isn't updating the game anymore. Hopefully they fix that. It happens every so often, so I'm not worried too much about it, but if it goes on for too long, that's gonna really put a damper in my ability to live stream and all that. So fingers crossed that gets fixed soon, because there's obviously going to be a lot to play with the new set happening here. So yeah, fingers crossed. Alright, so as always, let's open a collector box. So not all of these are collector box packs. There's the Lorwyn Eclipsed. These white ones probably came with a Johnny Planeswalker that they sent me. So, just as a recap, what do we get here? We got the Lorwyn Eclipsed. We got the themed packs. So we got Mooncakes. Okay. And Sun Buns. I mean, who named these? Was it you, Lou? You also get 8 packs. So that's pretty good. That's a good start. And then, what else do we got here? Then we get 2 Rare Plus Elite packs and 2 Mythic Plus Elite packs. So we get, 12 of those. So 6 of the Rare Plus and 6 of the Mythic Plus. So we'll have to see what we get from that. Let's just start from the beginning here. Oh yeah, by the way, if you want to see what the BFTA non-dupe rewards are for this set, is this guy. Brigid Clachan's Heart is a Kithkin warrior, 3/2 for 6 mana. When this creature enters the battlefield or transforms to this form, create 2 Lorwyn Kithkin tokens. Those are just 1/1s. When this creature transforms to this form or is reinforced, convert X gems to green. X is the number of creatures you control, including their reinforcements, up to 6. That's alright. Activate 2 white, transform this card. I know they're trying to stay away from giving us too much green gem conversion, but I don't know. They could have been a little bit more generous. It's an okay card. I don't think it's great. We also got this one. Erdu, Carrier of Dawn, is an elemental god. When this creature enters the battlefield or transforms to this form, the first creature card in your hand gains 8 mana. That's not bad. Activate 2 black, transform this card. It's also a 5/5 with flying and lifelink for 15 mana, which is also not bad. When this creature transforms to this form or is reinforced, a random non-token creature you control gains Persist. When a non-token creature with Persist dies, return that creature to the battlefield. That creature gains Finality. That's not bad. So it kind of gives your creatures, just a random non-token creature, has a way to survive a little longer. So, not terrible. Probably not ones that are going to be meta at all, but, not bad. So, alright, let's hop into this and, start opening packs. I've looked at the card gallery, and I'm not super familiar with it yet, but I remember seeing some decent cards in here. So what do we got? Affinity Merfolk. What is Affinity? At the beginning of your turn, this card has mana cost reduced by X until the beginning of your next turn, where X is the amount of cards you control, including their reinforcements, which have a subtype mentioned in this card's affinity. So the more Merfolks you have, the less this card costs, right? Yep. Cool. When this creature enters the battlefield or attacks, disable the first opposing creature until the end of your next turn. Pretty good. Untargeted disable. When this creature leaves the battlefield, the first opposing creature gains stun counter 2. Okay, so we can really lock down one of these creatures. It's decent. It's a 4/6 for 9, which is actually pretty good. That's a solid cost to power ratio. So I don't hate that. Elf Assassin. When another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, gain 1 life. Meh. Create 2 Blight Gems. So this is a new thing. They're really pushing this mechanic in the set. Blight Gems are created from your Planeswalker color. Blight Gems become normal gems when matched, but they don't generate mana when they match. Some effects might clear Blight Gems, turning them back into normal colored gems. Blight Gems still trigger 4 match and 5 match effects. Okay. Target creature gains haste until end of turn. If you behold an elemental, reinforce that creature. Okay, fine. It's also got this Kindred. Yeah, so it's Kindred and Elemental. A lot of Elementals already have haste, so we'll have to think about that one. Create a Blight Gem and exile target opposing non-token creature. Decent for a common. So we get a rare. That's nice. Another rare. And a dupe. Common. At the beginning of your turn, this creature gets +X/+X. Till end of turn, X is the number of creatures you control, plus the number of creatures in your graveyard. Okay, so it's a possible 3 plus however much. For 8 mana, that's not bad. It's got trample too. It's not going to grow as fast as, say, a consuming aberration or anything, but not a terrible card. Let's see. When another goblin creature you control dies, deal 2 damage to your opponent. This effect can trigger up to 4 times per turn. Probably not worth playing in most cases, unless you really don't have any other goblins to play. When this creature enters the battlefield, all creatures in control get +1/+1 till end of turn. Meh. Target creature is -4/-4 for 12 mana. That sucks. Meh. I like it. No rares in this one. Activate 1 white. Create X Lorwyn Eclipsed tokens. X is number of color among cards you control. So, if you hit the activate gem, you can create up to 5 Lorwyn Eclipsed tokens. Not terrible. That's actually pretty good. You just have to destroy that activated gem. When this creature enters the battlefield, reinforce your first non-shapeshifter creature. It's okay. For a common, at least. This creature enters the battlefield, draw a card. Card draw in green is never bad. This creature enters the battlefield, create 2 Blight Gems when a Bright Gem is clean. First opposing creature gains can't block till end of turn. Alright, we get our first mythic. Second mythic. Alright, that was a good pack. Alright, so what do we got here? Moonshadow, creature elemental. 2/2 for 3 mana and menace. When this creature enters the battlefield, create 5 Blight Gems. When you clear a Blight Gem, reinforce this creature. Interesting. Okay. So this can become a really pretty big creature. If you clear all those Blight Gems, this basically becomes a 10/10, right? For 3 mana. Pretty good. With menace as well. Glen Elendra's Answer. 13 mana spell card. Can't have its mana drained or raised. all creatures' base power and toughness become 1/1. All creatures lose all of its basic evergreens. Create X fairy tokens. X is the number of colors among cards you control. So, okay, so it's mainly a defensive card. I'm trying to think of, would you play this in a creatureless deck, maybe? That's where I would play it. And then you just create those fairy tokens, and you can use those to attack your opponent with. But I would put this in like a blue-red spell slinging deck, maybe. Or you play it with something, where creature damage isn't the way you win. So you could throw a Dragonhawk in here, and Dragonhawk, or like what's another one? A Rotten Mouth Viper, something like that. Yeah. So this is a decent card. Will take a little building around, but pretty interesting. Champion of the Weird. 5/5, Goblin Berserker, Affinity Goblin. You lose 2 life, then create 2 Blight Gems. Okay. When you create a Blight Gem, the first opposing creature gets -2/-2. This effect can trigger up to 4 times per turn. Not terrible. 15 mana is a lot, kind of, but I don't hate it. Activate 1 white, draw a card. When this creature enters the battlefield, create a Blight Gem. Okay. This creature enters the battlefield, destroy the top 3 cards of your library. Then if there is an elf card in your graveyard, your opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. This could be an interesting card to play with Nissa of Shadowed Vows, because you can play elves, green elves with Nissa, and use this to destroy 3 cards of your library, fueling her 3rd ability. So, yeah, I don't hate it. I might use that in Commoner Cup. Okay, another rare. Fetch the first 3 cards from your opponent's library. Those cards gain 6 mana. Interesting. That could be fun. Will I use it a lot in serious play? Probably not, but it seems like a fun card. At the beginning of your turn, create a Blight Gem. Then target creature gains haste till end of her turn. Interesting. When this creature enters the battlefield, create a Merfolk token. This creature attacks, gain 2 life. Okay. Don't know if I loved any of those. Dupe Mythic. So I'm guessing I'm going to pull that Mythic like 5 times, because every set there is one Mythic that I pull like 4 or 5 times. Activate 1, draw a card. That kind of sucks. It's only 3 mana, but activate 1 takes too long. Thought Weft Charge. Drain form. 4 mana? Well, it's only 3 to cast. So, cheap spell shenanigans can be had. Especially if you're playing something like, Ashling from PM2. Cards like this become a little bit more relevant. So I'm guessing this probably doesn't cast if your opponent doesn't have mana in their hand. So a little tricky, but I don't know. There might be something you can do with that card. Okay, maybe that's the mythic that we're gonna pull 5 times. First creature gets +X/+X until end of turn. X is the number of colors among cards you control. Be really cool if it was permanent, but oh well. When this creature enters the battlefield, your first creature gains vigilance. Meh. Not impressed. Alright, last one from this theme pack. Yep, that's the one. But I tell you. Alright, well, at least we get a new mythic. Spell card, create 3 black gems. Deal X damage to each opposing creature to your opponent's planeswalker. X is 2 times the amount of blight gems on the board. That could be pretty strong. We'll have to see how many blight gems we could flood the board with, but that could add up. This creature enters the battlefield, or at the beginning of your turn, this creature gets -1/-1, then another target creature control gets... Yeah. A 6/7 for 12 is actually not the worst. Okay, on to our next theme pack here. This one's the Sun Buns, I believe. Got ourselves 2 rares here. Nice. 9 mana for a 2/5 double striker. That's pretty good. When this creature's on the battlefield, your giant creatures gain double strike. Oh, that's actually really good to pair with that white giant from the Lorwyn set. That's a pretty good little peasant combo there. This giant and that other one, and maybe another one. I have to look to see what other giants we have. But yeah, I like it. Discard X cards and draw X cards. Then all creatures you control get +X/+X. Trample until the beginning of your next turn. X is the power of your first creature up to 6. Interesting. Okay, so this is a good way to refill your hand, I think. Yeah, that's a strong card for green. Yeah, that's a good card. I like it. It's an Aura, Lofty Dreams. Draw a card. Your first creature gets +2/+2 and gains flying. It does have a Convoke 6, so it could be 9 mana to draw a card. But I don't know. I think there are better cards from Origins than this one. Flame Braider, activate 1, convert 3 gems to your planeswalker's colors. That's not bad. It is activate 1 though. Then if you have an elemental card in your hand, convert 3 gems to your planeswalker. So if you hit that activate 1, you have the potential for converting 6 gems to your planeswalker's color. That's pretty good. I don't hate that. Beginning of your turn, this creature is +2/+0 until the beginning of your next turn. So you can play this with those ones that destroy activated gems for you. I don't know if you would play that card if you have that one, because it's a masterpiece, but I'm just throwing out ideas here. Okay. Anything worth talking about? Target creature gains haste, trample, and berserk until end of turn, then draw a card. It is good, but 13 mana is a lot. Okay. And this creature dies. Destroy target opposing creature power 3 or less. It's a changeling. And it's got reach. Interesting. Also a changeling. Okay. That's fine. All right. Boggart Mischief. We got a mythic here. Support enters the board, create 2 blight gems. Okay, when you clear a blight gem, create a Shadowmoor Goblin token. Okay, when a goblin creature dies, your opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. This effect can trigger up to 10 times per turn. How would you destroy 10 goblins in a turn anyway? I don't know. I have to think about that, but if you have ideas, let me know, because I don't know how you would even do that. Just a funny looking creature there. Let's creature in this battlefield. Okay. It's an interesting card, this Blight one. I'll have to play with Blight Gems to see just how good they actually are. Okay, got ourselves a new rare. What's it all about? When this creature attacks, create a Shadowmoor Fairy token. Just a 1/1. I mean, it is a 3/2 for 10, but I wish it was a little stronger. Nothing great. Two new rares, not bad. Whenever you cast a card, it costs 4 or more, draw a card. When this creature dies, draw X cards. X is the number of wizard creatures you control. Interesting. Cast a card, draw a card. That's strong. Because that means you can just keep a loop going if it's a loop based on casting cards and drawing into new ones that give you mana and all that. So, solid. Non-token elemental creature enters the battlefield, deals 7 damage to the opposing planeswalker. 7/3 for 15 is not bad either. That one's alright. Target creature gains Death Touch, Lifelink, and Berserker until end of turn. Then create a Shadowmoor Elf token. Probably not one I'm going to use a lot, but it has potential. These little changeling guys are so weird looking. Okay, got a couple new cards. Probably nothing great. Target creature in control gets +0, then deals damage equal to its power to the first opposing creature. So that could become useful in events where you have to deal damage to your opponent's creatures. This is a weird looking Crossroads Watcher, Kithkin Ranger. When another creature enters the battlefield during turn, I just find that art strangely disturbing. Speaking of strangely disturbing, these changelings are all funky looking. Okay. As creature enters the battlefield, your creatures get +X/+X until end of turn. Meh. It's funny artwork, but I don't know if I love it. Creature enters the battlefield, just exile the first 2 cards from your opponent's graveyard, then gain 6 life. Meh. Alright, cleared those out. Next, we are to the white themed packs. First card was a mythic. Great. See what it is. Bridget's Command, 8 mana, spell card Kithkin. Also has Kindred. Choose one. Option A, reinforce the first non-token Kithkin creature you control. Create 3 Lorwyn Kithkin tokens. Okay. Option B, your first creature gets +4/+4, then that creature fights the first opposing creature. Not overly impressed. It is only 8 mana to cast, but I don't know. I don't know how much I would use it unless I was playing like a Kithkin leader deck, something like that. Okay. At least it's a mythic and it's out of the way. Okay. This creature enters the battlefield. Great. Create 2 blight gems. When 3 or more blight gems are cleaned in your turn, this creature gains prevent damage till the end of your next turn. I mean, it's not blocking or berserking, so I'm not sure how useful the prevent damage even is. Destroy an enchantment opposing support. Okay. This creature enters the battlefield or dies. If you control another merfolk creature, return the last creature with mana value 4 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Mana value 4 or less? That's pretty low. So you're probably only ever going to play this with other commons, so not great. Okay. Another new rare. When this creature attacks, if you control no other creature cards, this creature gets +3/+3. Okay. I mean, you want some other creatures in play besides just this one, but I guess that's fine. I don't want to do that. When this creature enters the battlefield, the first card of your library is green and white. Convert 2 gems to your planeswalker's colors. Mana cost of 5 or less on this one. It's a 3/6 with lifelink for 9. It's not terrible. 15 mana. Vigilance 5/6 with Convoke 4. I don't hate that. It's not a bad card for Commoner Cup. Okay, we are at the super packs now. Alright. Do we get anything good here? When you cast a spell to your opponent's turn, draw a card. Okay, so you play that with Flash. First, okay. So all of these have this like convert gems depending on what your what's in your library when you ETB. Not amazing, but not the worst either. That's fine. Destroy your opposing card at random, then create a Shadowmoor Elf token. That one's playable, especially in Commoner Cup, right? I press that. Wow, still got 7 more super packs to go. They're pretty generous with the super packs in this collector box this time. I like that. Okay, nothing great. Darkness Descends. 17 mana. All creatures get -2/-2 for each of their reinforcements. So this could be strong if you know you're going against a token deck, but how often would you be able to predict that? So I don't know. It would be a better card if you can know what you were facing, so you know to put it in or not. So I don't know. Not great. It has potential, but I think it'll be mostly disappointing. Before it enters the board, draw a card. Okay. Beginning of your turn, if you have at least 3 creatures that share a type in your library, fetch the first creature from your library and card gains 4 mana. It's okay. For 6 mana, it's actually not terrible. To be, yeah, like if you're playing this with a tribal deck, then being able to fetch a creature and give it mana at the beginning of every turn, being colorless, only 6 mana, yeah, not bad at all, actually. Temporal Cleansing, 13 mana, but it's got Convoke 5. Target player moves a card with the greatest mana cost they control to the bottom of their library. Pretty good, actually. Yeah. This is definitely playable because it's you can choose which side you want to do that to, but I mean you're mostly going to play it against your opponent, right? But untargeted removal that sends it to the bottom of the library. Sending to the bottom of the library is actually one of the best ways of getting rid of a card, because it's not going to trigger any destroy effects. It's not going to be able to be taken out of the graveyard easily, or even the exile. So yeah, solid. Okay. 14 mana, create 3 blight gems, return the first creature from a graveyard to the battlefield. Not bad. Kindred Shapeshifter, activate 1, convert. It's just the activate 1 is gonna hold you from being able to do a lot with it, because it's just too difficult to hit activate 1 in any predictable way. Okay, what did we get here that's new? We got a rare. Drain 6 mana from hand. Okay, so it's a 3/3. Trample for 8. It's got ward. Or non-token creature enters the battlefield. This creature gets +2/+2. Not the worst. Probably not something I'm going to be playing much, but yeah. Whoa, this is a weird looking creature. It's like a snail bird platypus thing. When this creature enters the battlefield, you gain X life. X is the number of colors among cards you control, so most you can gain is 5 life. Merfolk. Return a Merfolk control on your, and then create a Lorwyn Merfolk token. I don't know why you would want to play this. When this support enters the board, exile opposing non-land support. Okay, so it's one of these. But it specifically targets supports. So that's kind of interesting. I prefer the ones that can remove any type of card. But those usually aren't commons. Actually, no, that's not true. Interesting. I don't know if I've seen them do that before. Alright, Nightmare Sower, Fairy Assassin, 2/3 with flying and lifelink. When you cast a card, the first opposing creature gets -1/-1. This effect can trigger up to 3 times per turn. Not terrible. Not amazing, but definitely not the worst. Card is exiled from a graveyard. Create a Lorwyn Eclipsed token. Interesting. With no cap on it. I'm gonna have to play around with this. That's kind of amazing if it's only 3 mana to create a bunch of Kithkin tokens. Destroy the top 4 cards of your library and then return the first card from your graveyard to your hand. For 4 mana, destroying the top 4 cards of your library is actually... I don't hate that. Rest of these cards, not super impressive. When this creature attacks, draw a card and lose 2 life. For a common in mono black, that's playable. In common or cup. Alright. Do we get anything good? Shine Striker. 15 mana, 3/3 elemental. When this creature enters the battlefield, draw X cards. X is the number of color among cards you control. So you can draw up to 5 cards when this creature enters the battlefield. That's one of the better ones of these, I would say. This one gets +X/+X. It's a double striker. 1/4 for 9. Not bad. Actually. This could become a... what? A 6/10 or a 6/9 on ETB. So you get a bunch of these and you're playing like a ley line of the guild pack. This thing can get pretty big pretty quickly. Yeah, not bad. Okay. All right. Okay. Nice. $3 rares out of that super pack. So what do we got? When another merfolk creature control attacks, that creature gains prevent damage to the beginning of your next turn. Actually, this would pair well with Mistbind Click, because that has Defender on it. So, you can even play this maybe with Changelings and get those all prevent damage. When you return, you control 3 or more creatures proliferate. Interesting. At the end of your turn, if you control another elf creature, create 2 blight gems. It's okay. Creature enters the battlefield, destroy the top 4 cards of your library. Okay. Then return the first creature or land card from your graveyard to your hand. When you exile a land card from your hand for the first time in your turn, create a worm token. That's just a 1/1. I like the destroying the top 4 cards of your library, but we have better ones. Like Fanatic of Ronus is just only a little bit more expensive, but way stronger. Discard the last card from your hand. That is a creature card. Draw 3 cards, otherwise draw 2 cards. Yeah, not bad, actually. If you want to send something to your graveyard to pull out later, it's a good way of doing it. This creature, another Kithkin, enter the battlefield under your control. Yeah. Alright. The rest wasn't amazing. Alright. When this creature enters the battlefield, you may discard the last card from your hand. If you do, fetch the first creature card from your library. That creature gains half its mana rounded down. This creature attacks, gain 2 mana. Okay. Not bad, actually. For grabbing creatures, putting half mana into them. Yeah. Playable. Creature enters the battlefield, disable target opposing creature at the end of your next turn. For 7 mana, not bad. Okay. Alright, our last super pack. Then we could get into opening the rare plus elite packs. Alright. We got ourselves a mythic. Haven't seen one of those in a while. Alright. Alright. My bad. I had to restart, so I didn't get to see everything in this pack, but let's look at this one. Emptiness, Elemental Incarnation. When this creature enters the battlefield, if there are 6 or more white gems on the board, return the first creature from your mana cost 9 or less to the battlefield. Well, that already puts it down in my mind. When this creature enters the battlefield, there are 6 or more black gems on the board. A random opposing creature gets -4/-4. Just really not bringing enough to the table. I'm not super impressed with either of those effects, so meh. Let's go back to opening packs here. So we got that elite pack. We got the rare pluses. I'll open the rare pluses right now. Then maybe open a couple of premium packs. I feel pretty good about what I pulled from the collector box so far. So I don't feel like I need a lot of gold to I don't need to spend a lot of gold on elite packs. So what is this? 8 mana 1/1 bird with first strike, flying, and lifelink. Bird Bard. When this creature enters the battlefield, target creature loses all of its basic Evergreen abilities. Then that creature gains flying, lifelink, and first strike. What do we think about that? But say it doesn't have a basic evergreen ability. Can you still give that creature the flying lifelink and first strike? Maybe. This will be an interesting one to play around with. I'll have to see what you can do with that exactly. Okay. Raiding schemes. When you cast a non-creature card, if it's not a copy, create a copy of that card in your hand. This effect can trigger up to 3 times per turn. Is that like spell too? Could be interesting. I'll have to mess around with that one as well. It intrigues me though. Alright, next round of rare plus packs. Shadow Urchin. This creature enters the when this creature attacks, create a blight gem. This creature dies, exile the top X cards of your library, then return the first card from your exile to your hand. That creature gains X mana, X's amount of blight gems on the board. Okay. It's fine. Ooh, that's a good one. Oh my god. From the Rare Plus pack? That's sweet. This is one I definitely wanted to play around with. When you create a Blight Gem, gain 5 mana. When this support loses shield, create a Scarecrow token. What's the Scarecrow token again? 2/2, colorless. But yeah, I want to mess around with that. Create a Blight Gem, gain 5 mana, because that could really do a lot for you with all these cards creating Blight Gems. So yeah, there's potential there. That was a nice pull for a rare plus pack. Oh wow, another masterpiece from a rare plus. Mass of Mystery, 7 mana for a 5/5 with all that. That's really good. Power to cost ratio. When this creature attacks, reinforce each other elemental creature you control. That creature gains first strike, vigilance, and trample until the beginning of your next turn. That is pretty strong. I'm mostly impressed by it being only 7 mana to cast. So, solid creature, pretty strong ability, and it's all 5 colors. So you can throw this into those decks that matters in. And yeah, very nice. I'm very much surprised with my luck on these rare plus packs. Deepway Navigator, Merfolk Wizard. When this creature, okay, so it's 2/2 with Bravery and Flash for 7 mana. Creature attacks your other Merfolk creatures gain Vigilance until the beginning of your next turn. When you attack with your third creature, if you have at least 3 different creatures that share a type in your library, your Merfolk creature +2/+1. I mean, not terrible, but probably not one I'm going to play with that much. Alright, so we had some good luck so far with those elite packs, so not going to spend too much time opening Lorwyn Eclipsed packs. I mean, there's still plenty to pull from these premium packs. So we'll see what we get here. Still grabbing plenty of new commons and uncommons, which is mainly the point of pulling a premium pack. There we go. It's that one. Already pulled 3 of those guys. Alright. New rare, at least. Infinity Elf. When you cast a creature card, draw a card. That card gains 3 mana. Not bad. Does have to be a creature card, though, but depending on the type of deck you're running, that shouldn't be super difficult. It's just not going to do a lot for you in terms of like loop enabling, but I don't think it's a bad card at all. Activate 2. Your first creature gains trample till end of turn and convert 2 gems to red. For 11 mana for a 2/1, though, I don't know. Okay. Destroy opposing creature card at random. Okay. Not bad. It's got to convoke 3, so for potentially 6 mana, not bad. Draw X cards. X is the number of color among cards you control. Then the first opposing creature gains stun counter 2. So card draw with stun counter is not bad. Playable. Don't know if it will replace anything in my blue decks, but not a bad card at all. Creature dies, create 2 blight gems, and return this creature to battlefield under your control. 3 reinforcements. This creature gains finality. You know, that's not terrible for, especially for a common or uncommon. It's a 4/2. So if you reinforce this guy a bunch and it comes back as, I don't know, like a 12/6, pretty solid. Okay, not amazing. Create 2 blight gems, drain 4 mana from your opponent's hand. So something like this, I want to play around with that masterpiece I got. Creating 2 blight gems would, in theory, give you 10 mana, right? For a spell that costs 6 mana. So that's excellent return on investment there if you have that other card out. So, okay, we'll do one more. Maybe a third. If this ends up being mostly dupes then, or like hardly any new cards in it, then yeah, we'll know. And we'll stop it there. Okay. Still pulling new uncommons. Alright, we get ourselves a mythic. So not bad. Okay. Maybe I should pull a third premium pack. Alright. Okay, that wasn't a bad premium pack. Mirror Form, 20 mana. Create a copy in your hand of all non-token supports you control on the board. Those cards gain full mana. Interesting. So what would we do with this? Play supports that have ETBs in them? Like a Sunken Citadel and all that? Yeah, interesting card. It's 20 mana to cast, though. It's a little on the expensive side, but there's definitely some potential for this one. In Legacy, let's copy an Omni. Although you wouldn't play this copy an Omni, you would just play copy enchantment, for example, and get the same effect for less mana. But that is an interesting card. That's something you would want to play, especially for support-based objectives. This would be a perfect way to hit that. So Very cool card. Okay, Doran Besieged by Time. What's up, Doran? You watching this? It's Tree Folk Druid, 0/5 for 15 mana. You play this with the guy that gives your Tree Folks prevent damage. When a creature with toughness greater than its power enters the battlefield under your control, gain 3 mana. Okay? When this creature attacks, each creature you control with toughness greater than its power gets +5/+5 until end of turn. Solid. Not amazing, but not terrible. Exile target creature you control and create a shapeshifter token. Why would I want to do that? I don't know. Create 2 blight gems, destroy target opposing creature. Nice. That would go well with the other card. When the support enters the board, your first creature fights the first opposing creature. Okay. Beginning of your turn, first creature get +2/+2 until end of turn. Meh. Creature enters the battlefield or attacks, create 2 blight gems. So, yeah, a 5/4 for 2? What? That is really good cost to mana or power to cost ratio, especially for for a common. I wonder if that was on accident or what. One more. Okay. Got ourselves a new rare, at least. Okay, yeah, this is definitely going to be the last one I do. Still getting a decent amount of new cards, but at this rate, I'll probably just get anything else that I would need from Trials of the Plains. Yeah, lots of dupes there. Mornsong Aria seems like an interesting one. 10 mana, support card enchantment. While this support is on the board, players can't gain life. So you might see this in play control. When a player draws a card, exile that card, then move a random card from that player's exile to that player's hand. That card gains half its mana, rounded down, and that player loses 5 life. Interesting. So if you play this against somebody who, I don't know, like a Jace, you'd make them lose a lot of life, but you would put tons of mana into their hand. So gotta be careful with this one. Okay, return, enforce, then create 3 blight gems. Interesting. For 10 mana, that's pretty good, actually. That one's actually playable. Nothing else in this pack looked that playable. So, yeah, let's move on to the Mythic Plus packs. Let's see what we can get from these. I like to save what's in these packs so I know when I'm grinding what to save for, which packs to pull from. Get that. And that guy too. So that's EP1. This is the week 2 EPs. We get a lot from that already. Eventide Shadow is probably the card I'm going to want to chase the most. So maybe we can get it. We have a good shot at it. 2 tries with the we get a 2 in 7 chance of pulling Eventide Shadow. Gain X mana. X is the total shield supports in play. That could get out of control. There are some fun things you can do with that. And okay, we get this one as well. Aurora Awakener is probably the card that I want from this pack the most. Let's see if we can pull it. So we get a 1 in 10 chance. 2 in 10. So 1 in 5 to get that one. All right. Let's see what we get here. Deceit. Okay, what is this? This creature enters the battlefield. There's 6 or more blue gems on the board. If your opponent has 5 or less cards in hand, turn target opposing creature to your opponent's hand. Okay. If there are 6 or more black gems on the board, your opponent discards the last card, then can be discarded from their hand. Kind of weak. Neither of those are really going to be that impressive. Okay, we get one more shot. Not sure even what I'm chasing from this pack in particular. So let's just see what we get. Ashling Rekindled. Elemental Sorcerer, 1/3. This creature enters the battlefield or transforms. Discard the last 2 cards in your hand and then draw 2 cards. Okay. Wait, 2 blue, transform this card. Gain 10 mana. Transform this card. That's pretty solid. So you activate 2 blue to gain 10 mana. We'll have to see how good that card actually is in practice. I'm intrigued by it, but I don't know. All right, here we go. Let's hope for that one. That spell we want. Jubilation. When this creature enters the battlefield or deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, creatures get +3/+3 and gain trample. As long as those are permanent effects, I don't hate it. So it would basically become an 8/8 for 13 mana, and then it grows. All your creatures get that buff. Not a bad card. Not super impressed by it, but definitely one that I could have fun with. Six command, 8 mana, Merfolk. So we did not get the chase we wanted. So that means we'll just save pinks for BFTA. Or we'll save yellows for BFTA so we can grab more pinks and pull from that pack again. Reinforce the force, non-token Merfolk creature you control. That creature gains lifelink. Okay. Draw a card. That card gains 7 mana. First opposing creature gains stun counter 1. Not a terrible card. Fairly versatile. You do have to play Merfolk to get anything out of option A. I would probably play option B a lot more, depending on what I'm doing, but I don't know. Just because it has to be a Merfolk. If it wasn't for that, then I think I would like that card a lot more. But as it stands, not super impressed by it. Catharsis. This creature enters the battlefield. There's 6 or more white gems on the board. Create 3 Lorwyn Eclipsed tokens. Okay. When this creature enters the battlefield, there are 6 more red gems on the board. Your creatures get +1/+1 for each of their reinforcements and gain haste. Okay. Those are solid-ish. Haste on ETB is intriguing, but you have to make sure that the board state allows for that. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a bit on the conditional side. So I don't know if I like this. Card with Evoke is exiled from hand with full mana. All of its when its creature enters the battlefield and leaves the battlefield affects triggers. Okay. Cards exiled using the Evoke Evergreen are sent to the graveyard after the effects revolve. I didn't know that. Alright. So last chance at Aurora Awakener. Nope. But what is this? Abundant Countryside. 7 mana. Being returned, convert 2 gems to your opponent planeswalker. My opponent planeswalker color. Why would I want to do that? Then the first creature card in your hand gains 6 mana. Activate 1, create a shapeshifter token. It's a masterpiece. Alright. I mean, I would think that's a rare at most, but yeah, definitely a masterpiece. Alright, well, those are all the packs for me to open. Might as well open a booster. Alright, well, there you have it. So, yeah, let me know if you guys got anything that you were chasing, or if I got something that you are intrigued by. Even if I wasn't super impressed by it, I would love to hear your ideas. I get a lot of ideas from just looking at what other people are doing and what they ask me to try. So if you want to help me participate in the channel and all that, that's a good way of doing it. Yeah, if you are new to the channel, I hope you enjoyed this enough to want to subscribe. If you did enjoy it, feel free to hit the like button. That always helps. And yeah, hopefully I can get the Google Play streaming thing again going, because that'd be a bummer if I could only record things instead of playing live. So yeah, hope you guys pull all the cards you want, and I will see you again soon.